Hello and welcome to Bottom Line KE here on Look Up TV. I am Nancy Nalima. Welcome to the program. Today in the show we are looking at the future of young women in leadership. Now, one of the most dynamic changes in the recent years is the prominence of women in different leadership positions. Are women there yet? That is the big question we are asking you today. And to help me discuss this issue further is right next to me is Irene Mungai, who is the president at ADMI.
Yes.
Karibu. And on the far end, Faith Thuku, a student leader at Technical University. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, young women in leadership.
Yes.
So, let us just talk a little bit about that. How was it for you? When did you decide, now, I want to represent people. I want to take up a leadership position. And you went for the horns. You grabbed the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
So how was it for you?
First of all, I would say it wasn't easy. When I first worked at ADMI, I saw a poster of the president and vice president, and I thought, this should be me one day. That was just when I was working in my first semester, you know, I'm all new. And then, yeah, so after last year, there was that the previous student council were leaving. So I was like, I will try for this position. And I didn't want any other position. I was like, I don't want to be the VP, I don't want to be the secretary, I want to be the president. And ADMI have never had a female leader, a female president.
So before. You are the first female president. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, so I love challenging myself, and I consider myself a people's person. I'm always trying to do right by everything, you know. So I decided, you know what, I'll take this position and try and change some things in ADMI, because I hate complaining and start saying you should try and do this, I decided I will stop complaining and act on it. Take that position so that I can have the power to change the things that I want to change.
Be part of the process.
Yes.
Okay.
And the history of ADMI, to say not the least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Faith, how was it for you?
Okay, first of all, I want to make it clear that I was the gender secretary, Technical University of Kenya,
okay.
2019-2020, student council, the executive. So it wasn't easy. Campus politics, very, very tribal and all that. But because of, I want to say that I'm also a people's person. Because if you are a leader, you should be a people's person. You should be listening to everyone, regardless of their tribe and everything, their affiliations. So I went down. I was very humble, and I'm still very humble. And I listened to everyone, whatever they wanted at that time, because everyone is looking up to getting something or somewhere. So that is what I wanted. I never wanted any other position, because I believe that if you're a gender secretary, there are some things about women specifically that you should meet as a leader, and that was my desire, to work with women. Though I was representing the whole student fraternity, yeah. But my passion is on women's agenda, and that is why I got where I got.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if the politics of campus have changed, given the time that I've been out here.
Yeah.
But I'd just like to know, so you being women, was it a problem? Did it pose as a challenge as you were campaigning?
First of all, let me clarify for people who do not know what ADMI stands for. Mm-hmm. ADMI is Africa Digital Media Institute. Mm-hmm. So in ADMI, there's a culture of creativity, there's a culture of love, but now there's no, the culture of a female president was not there, because you see from the first meeting it wasn't there before. But when I decided to vie, I honestly cannot say that I got challenges, because I'm a hard head. So there are things that I have a thick skin. There are things that just don't get into me. But there's one particular comment I got that triggered my mind. Someone said, "Hey, wanaume wanalala. And I'm just like, how are men sleeping? And you've been in leadership all this time. This is the first time a female is just standing up. What do you mean wanaume wanalala? Meaning that that position should not be for women. Yeah, it was just that particular comment. But the school at large was helpful, was supportive. Yeah, I can't complain. And then I had a strategy that made it work. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Faith, how was it for you?
Okay, for me, I had maybe financial challenges because campus politics, nowadays we have the dual system, which is the delegate system. So the delegate system, you have to talk with them, you have to take them somewhere. You know, you have competitors and the competitors are doing the same. So you have to be more, even better than your competitors. So
it was beyond you being a woman.
It was beyond me being a woman. Okay. It was more of financial challenges. You had to go look for money, and you are a student, you know. So for me, it was finances. Finances was one of the biggest challenges for me.
Okay, so then can we say that women in leadership, people are more open-minded to have women in different positions, given by what you're saying?
Yeah, I think with the current generation that we are at, I think people are more open-minded. But the thing is, that is what we think. But actually, they're just a particular type of people who are still not open-minded. They still cannot accept the fact that a woman is in leadership. And sometimes you find even fellow women as well. They just don't see it. They're just like, how can you be the president, you know, when there were no men, you say. So which is really wrong in so many levels. But there's a bigger percentage of people accepting the women in leadership because of what the VP in US, she did, Kamala. So I think such women are really bringing out that actually women can lead, women can take this big position, which is really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now looking at Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan has been sworn in as the 6th president. So the very first woman in East Africa. Yes, in East and Central Africa as well.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So that is a major milestone for African women and women in general. And there's also Agnes Kavido, who was declared the senator-elect, for Machakos County. So this is actually very commendable progress for women.
Yes.
So then, are women now getting it right when it comes to leadership?
Yeah.
Are they putting themselves out there as they should?
Yeah. I want to say, first of all, I want to thank other women for supporting women in leadership, because we are all understanding that we have different roles in the community as women. For example, women in leadership like Kavindo and Suluhu of Tanzania, the current president-elect. She has already been sworn in.
Yes, she's the president.
So
not elect.
She had she had so many challenges after the death of the president, former president. So you can remember even the night she said she spoke out about the president.
About the death of Magufuli.
She was alone. She was alone, and if you could see after she was sworn in, the cabinet, she was the only lady I saw in that cabinet. The rest were men, meaning that the next maybe elections, even 2022, we need women to support fellow women. We are moving on perfectly, I can say, because Kavindu was elected with a bigger margin, with 80,000 votes to be specific. That was a huge milestone for women, and I think Kenya is ready for women. Kenya is ready for women leadership. We are even ready for a female president.
Okay, and even now speaking on that, women have made progress. Now we have Governor Charity Ngilu.
Yes.
we have Kirinyaga Governor, and Waiguru.
Yeah.
But what about the top seat? Is that going to be achievable? Because we have made progress. We had 3 governors, now the late Laboso, so we have 2 female governors as of right now. But now, can women go beyond that? Do you think that our country, is Kenya ready to have women at the top seat? Not only women in different positions, but women calling the shots at the very top of that food chain?
Yes, yes and no. So I would say yes, because so far if we can have women governors, that is actually a step, a mileage in our country.
Yeah.
You see, so for the top positions, the reason I will say no, because there's still this mindset of the Africanism that as African men, as I'll just use Africanism just to generalize the entire conversation, that women cannot lead because the women, they have their place. You see, there's still that certain group of men that think like that think that women cannot lead them. But generally, personally, actually, I would love to see a woman president, you know, because we want to empower these young girls. If you can say, you grew up knowing that there was a woman president, there was a lady who was a president, that means there's nothing.
You see possibilities.
Yes, thank you. You see possibilities, like your life become easy, and then you're hopeful, you know, because they're already there. But our generation, we've grown up in a society where we find that women cannot do certain roles. Women cannot do this. Women cannot do this. But at least the generation that is yet to come, they will grow up with a different mindset that it is possible. Yes, we can. As a woman, as a young girl, you can get this position, these leadership roles. Like, there's nothing impossible. So we need to start changing that mindset. I believe so, not in 2022, but I believe in some years to come. You know, I'm also being realistic. Yes.
Not just wishful thinking.
Yes, I'm not just being wishful thinking. Yeah. So realistically, 2022, it's a lie. But in some years to come, that is for sure. I believe that women, because the generation, the kids that are growing up, they're growing up knowing they have that power. They have that possibility. They have that, what is it? What is the word I'm looking for?
Will?
Yes, they have that will, that zeal, you know.
Okay.
So I'm sure some time to come we'll have. But as for now, we are trying. So let's fill up this governor seat, this senator seat. Yes, and we'll go somewhere.
That's Faith.
There was we are in March, right? So the beginning of March, there was a State House meeting for party leaders, national party leaders, and I was very keen with that meeting because I saw a woman. You spoke about Governor Charity Ngilu, and there were like 5 men in front of State House taking a photo, led by President Uhuru Kenyatta, and Ngilu was there, and I was really asking myself, I want to see other Charity Ngilus who will come up very strong like her. We had Wangari Maathai, and I believe Charity Ngilu is another powerful lady, being in politics all that long with lots of relevance. Ananini mashots tu, anapiga shots, and I'm really proud of this woman. Yeah, so we need other women to come out, seek these elective positions, because we can't just talk and then we are not even going for these positions. You better lose, but rather than just sitting down and doing nothing.
They're trying.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, as much as our women are going for these positions, as women we need to support them, because that's the other issue. We'll go for this position, but who is supporting us? You say, so we need to support each other wholeheartedly, because in an election where sometimes you find there's a male and there's a lady, all the men will just go to the male, not because the lady is not capable, but just because she's a woman and this is a man, so we'll just give her votes. But for some of the ladies who will now start and balance them, they won't just go for the woman because
she's a woman. Like
exactly, they will not do that. So I think as women, we need to be our own supporters, and I really hate how the society has made us feel like we are our own worst enemies. I think that is the mentality the society gave us, and
so you don't think that exists? That's just something that is told to us and we believe it?
Yes, that is what I feel. You see, like what I've said earlier, our generation as we were growing up, we knew there are certain levels women cannot do. We knew there are certain positions we can never achieve. And when you find a woman CEO, you're like, what? She's a woman. Like, it was a big deal because that is what has been installed in us. So we've been installed that women are your worst enemies. Hang out with men, don't hang out with the ladies because they are jealous of you, because they will not support you. You know, so if you already have that mentality, when I see you, when we're chilling here, I'll just be looking at you. I know you're just jealous of me. You see, because already it's inside me. Maybe you're not even there. You don't even care how I look. You don't even care about nothing. Because already there's that mentality. I'm not saying that it is not true. At some point it is true. But I feel like the society really needs to change that perspective.
So it has been highlighted.
Yes.
So much so that...
Yes.
That is what people believe.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that men are not their worst enemies. Men are also jealous. They're selfish, but they've been made to feel like they don't have feelings. They just support each other. They've been given that that perspective where brotherhood is important. Brotherhood. When you think about brotherhood, it's so overrated, and when you think about sisterhood, it's not there. They don't even talk about sisterhood.
Yeah.
There's no group that formed that became it started as a sisterhood, but there's so many big companies that started as brotherhood. So we need to change the narrative and start showing women your best friends. The sisterhood is important. It's just the same way men are told they're not supposed to cry. So man, it doesn't mean that men don't have tears. They do have tears, but because they've been told that men should not cry, they will grow with that. So even if they want to cry, they will not cry. You see, that is the same point with I'm trying to drive home with also the narrative of showing us that we are our worst enemies. I believe we're not.
Okay.
Yes.
And Faith, looking at the women who have come before us, Charity Ngilu, as you have mentioned, she vied for presidency in the 90s. Then we have Martha Karua, who's vied for presidency before as well. And now there are many other women who are coming up. But now we're expecting to see the Margaret Thatchers of the 21st century and many others. So for them, for someone like Martha Karua, there is a way people look at her, like she's a tough woman. So do you have to be a tough woman to compete in Kenyan politics? So if you are an okay woman, then you can't hack. This is what it means.
So I think saying tough, it's somehow a relative word, maybe, because I believe being tough, that is politics, and being tough, for me, goes hand in hand. Because out here in politics, for both men and women, it needs you personally first to believe in yourself. Wear that thick skin, develop a thick skin. Then being tough comes with having a tough skin. So after that, Karua is a strong lady. She has a thick skin. She has been trolled everywhere. Even today, people talk negatively about her, but she has made a lot of progress. She's in the books of history of this country, and I believe that if maybe today, or maybe even after 2022, she will one day say, "You guys, I want to go for this top seat." You'll see a lot of people, a lot of women, not even men, a lot of women of this country will champion for her, will support her, because she's a realist. She knows what she wants, and she believes she brought an idea of women liberation for this nation. So okay, she's a woman that we must all watch for now. Yeah.
Okay, so and I'm speaking on the double standards nature of how we look at women in politics.
Yeah.
So for her, she's tough. So if you're not a woman who is like Martha Karua, but you can still lead, can you be given an opportunity in politics if people don't deem you as tough?
To some extent, yes. To some extent, no. Because now the society that we are at, they don't allow, they consider women weak. That is why we're not given this position. So if they consider you're just weak as well, they will not give you. So and then the backlashes that you will get, it will force you to be tough. You have to be tough. I believe that you cannot want that top seat and you're just an okay woman.
But do men have to be tough to get these
That is
positions?
a problem. No, they don't have. They just have to be men. You know, yeah, they've been men in politics, but you don't have to prove yourself that you're a man. But for a woman, you have to prove yourself you're a woman. You're a woman leader.
Yeah.
Which is really sad, actually, coming to think of it. As a man, you just have to, you're a leader, that's all. You don't have to show you're a man in
Just by
leadership.
the virtue of you being a man,
Yeah.
You're a leader.
it's acceptable in a position of leadership.
Which is so wrong. And for a woman, you have to show as like the society, you have to show them that, hey, I am a tough woman, I can do this. Just like the comment she just said, which is very true. Martha Karua can get that role because of her toughness. She's been called an iron lady.
Nonsense.
Yes. So it's an excellent, like, yeah, she's tougher than most men, actually. Yeah. So that is one reason that will make her be in that position. But if you're just polite, nice, I'm trying to think of polite and nice women that have gotten there. They might look polite and nice, but deep down they're tough. I believe you have to be tough because if you're soft, you will cry, you'll be emotional. And in that position, you'll be crying every single day, and you don't want that. So
it's harder for women of a softer nature
yeah,
to get to the top seats.
And
yes,
the
that's what I
Kenyans-
believe.
Kenyans have a certain tendency of embarrassing women who cry, especially women leaders. I don't want to mention, there is a certain woman leader who came out publicly and she was just talking about Kenya and how things are. So some people they were not agreeing with her ideology, and they started calling her names, and she started crying before the public. And you know what? People like on Twitter,
They trolled her.
They troll her even today, and that clip is like 2018, and even today. So there is a certain way women have to package and repackage themselves for them to go higher, because I believe we have no otherwise. That is how it's like someone pushing you to the wall. You have you don't have anything, you have nothing else to show. That is your only salvation, you know. So I believe the society has.
So constantly women have to prove themselves over and over. And
Yeah.
we'll be talking about those challenges, but we have to take a short break.
Sure.
We're taking a short break here on Bottom Line KE, but we want you to be part of the conversation. Is Kenya ready for women leaders in the future and now? Do join in the conversation. The SMS number is 20374. Don't go too far. Welcome back. You're watching Bottom Line KE here on Look Up TV. And today in the program we are asking, is Kenya ready for young women in leadership positions? With me on set is Irene Mungai, President ADMI, and Faith Thuku, who is a student leader. And just before the break, I wanted us to talk about challenges, the challenges that women are facing, even as they're putting themselves out there to get these leadership positions. And one of the things that I really want us to focus on is our culture as people of Kenya.
Yeah.
Does it come in the way?
Well, I think our culture is so diverse. Talking, if we now break it down, but to some extent, it really contributes to the challenges that women are facing, because there are certain custom and traditions that don't support women. You see, there's some tradition, there's some tribes in Kenya that cannot allow a woman to lead. So the such things, if a woman is coming from that particular community, it becomes a problem because their culture does not allow them automatically. You see, but now we are going to that area where women are being educated and more empowered, so that such culture and tradition can really stop, and we can allow girl child to just blossom and become a leader. Yes.
Yes, babe.
To add on that, you'll realize some parts like Western Kenya, women, there are positions, there are county governments where you will not find a woman, even a single woman, leading from members of county assembly, even to the top senator, or not even one. It only came with the women representative post. That is the only person who is only a woman there in that particular region. So I think culture is one of the contributors that really undermine the role of women leadership in this country. I want to commend some certain regions, like maybe to look at Murang'a. Murang'a County is one of the counties that I've seen that has met the 2/3 gender rule, even in women leadership. I want to thank them, okay, because that is one of the hardest things that we want to deal with, even when we were shedding the 2010 constitution, the issue of 2/3 gender rule. It has been one of the, we have had challenges implementing this thing.
And it is yet to be implemented.
Yeah.
It's yet to be implemented. And you've seen
10 years later.
like some affirmative actions from the Building Bridges initiative that want to reach that 2/3 gender rule, and I want to look at it in a way that we have to embrace it, because our parliament has really tried to implement this thing so many times, not even countable, but it has failed. So if we have other mechanisms that are going to help us achieve this thing, let us look at it, especially women, to support something that is going to embrace our ideologies as women of this country.
But alternatively, then, if the 2/3 gender rule has not been implemented, the former Chief Justice wanted Parliament to be disbanded for failure to implement the 2/3 gender rule. So if it is such a headache, then if we go to the ballot, why can't women just be elected? Can't we just elect women?
It is. Let me tell you something. I want to be realistic with you, Nelima, because even if the president himself today disbanded the whole parliament and everyone was to go home, I'm telling you, if we went back to the elections, we could not have achieved even a third of that idea, because our culture is one of the biggest challenges that we are having in this country. It could not even allow us to achieve it. So we go back, we go to mechanism, policies, systems. We want systems, something that we see with our eyes, systems that are going to protect our rights as women of this country, systems that we can use, that are going to shield our interests as women of this country. And that is where I'm looking at the Building Bridges initiative, because if it has an affirmative action for women, issue of 2/3 gender rule, from the party nomination, because we are going to achieve the issue of gender rule from the party nomination. That is where I'm going to usher in the idea of women going for those elective positions. That is the first step as women we are going to, because in 2022, if we pass the Building Bridges initiative, will not have the nominations that we used to have in the past. Like maybe someone has a relationship with someone and she's giving a nomination, or he's given a nomination. We are going to choose our leaders if they are going to vie for those positions. That's how we are going to nominate women. Because some other people are saying, oh, we'll have a bloated parliament, or no. It's because we want to achieve. We should achieve, so that we cannot have this thing again and going back and disbanding our our parliament each and every time we are not achieving this thing. Because it's
but
going
you
to
don't
be a
think
problem.
that will just be transferring the problem now from parliament, then now we take it to political parties?
No, it's not, because we are going, the mechanisms that are going to be set at the same time, they are going to protect women even in party nominations. Because if you, maybe for example,
I have a question. Sorry for interrupting you. You're saying they will set this mechanism, but why haven't they set those mechanisms as per now, right now, with the current parliament that we have? Because I'm feeling if they dismantle, then the whole country will say this thing is serious. We actually need to vote for these women. Like, it's just not an open, because if they tell us they need to have some building bridges initiatives, if first of all they start working on what we have right now. I'm not against it or supporting it, because I'm actually I haven't understood it quite well, so I can't support or be against it in any way. But I just feel that what you have, why don't we work with what we have right now? They had to give us that women representative position to just to cover our eyes, just to show us that, okay, now we have a governor, we have a senator, MP, MCA, but you have women rep, so just keep calm, you see? I feel like they forced that into, they forced that situation. So before we start building all this mechanism, this other, every other thing that is supposed to bring the gender role into place, I feel like we should work with what we have right now. Yes, in 22, say this position, stop looking for other.
you know, my problem
So
is
then, so then the big elephant in the room is the women representation.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to achieve
we have
at
to,
the end.
yeah, Nelima, if we are serious about women leadership in this country, first of all, women should come out supporting things that are going to support them, okay? Because let me tell you one thing. You've talked about why don't we use something that we've had,
Something that is already there.
that is there.
Yeah.
But the issue of 2/3 gender rule has been there, but has not been implemented.
Why?
The parliament itself, personally, I'm against parliament. Those games that they have been playing all that time, like 10 years since the inception of devolution and the 2010 constitution. But the people of this country, we believed in them. We gave them the mandate to implement the 2/3 gender rule. But up to now, they have not implemented, meaning that it's not that they don't want. We also have women in parliament, and they want that. But we have a bigger problem, a giant that needs a tougher solution.
Okay.
You understand me? That is going to put, I'm talking about something that is going to be there for generations, that will protect women for generations. That is why I'm talking about the Building Bridges initiative.
So you
Because
believe that the
people who are-
BBI will get us there faster?
I believe, not even, if we can achieve something closer to that. If the party nominations means, let me explain. Party nominations means, if maybe women go to parliament, women go to for those elective positions, they are elected, and we see that there is a gap, or maybe there is a number that is remaining for us to achieve the 2/3 gender rule, then the issue of nomination will come. Then something like that is said to be a top-up. You understand? A top-up for us to achieve the 2/3 gender rule.
So the woman will be the top up.
So we will top up those positions. And if there is any case, if by any miracle, we will elect women and we'll tutapita your threshold, their 2/3 gender rule, and men will not be there, we will do the same. It's not as if we are talking about like both, you see, because if we'll not achieve this thing now, if we'll not achieve this thing in the proposed document, then I don't see anywhere
Us achieving it ever?
Anytime soon.
Okay, so yeah, we really have to move on.
Okay.
And there was something you mentioned earlier about women being their own worst enemies.
Yeah.
So that competition, maybe I just want to pick your minds when maybe you were campaigning. Were you campaigning an opponent who was a woman as well?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, so what was the relationship like? Was it competitive as we hear out here?
Yeah, I wouldn't lie. It was it was extremely competitive. And the funny part was that
Was it negative though? Like women
no, after I
fighting each other?
won, we became friends. But during that time, there was some cold tension between us. Because here's the thing, when I had first of all told her, you know what, I'm thinking of taking this position. And she was like, okay, cool, I will support you. I wanted her to be in my campaign team. And then before I know it, she has her poster. She's my opponent. I'm like, what? You were supposed to be my like, what just happened? But I loved that because now it made me toughen up. It made me push harder because now we are friends. So most of the people I'll target, she will also target them because we are familiar. Yes. So it was really tough. And then there's a time, it was really funny. I come with an agenda, I post, you know what, this is what I'll do, and then after she sees that, she will go and change and put her own thing. It was so competitive, honestly. It was intense, but what I would say is that if one of you is mature or both of you are mature, this thing will just settle down. So after the election and I won, I was cool at first, but during that time, I won't lie.
So was the competition then because you're opponents or because you're women?
Personally, I took it as opponents.
Because you're opponents.
I think that is what made it easier. If I would have taken it with women, we'll still have
it will be personal.
Yeah, it will be personal, and it shouldn't be personal. It's just that you want to be the president, I want to be the first president. You want to be the first president. Let's see who wins. Do your thing, boo. I do my thing, and then let's meet at the ballot.
So women can actually have a healthy competition.
Yes, and which is really helpful because I'm telling you, she really made me up my game because now we have the same target. You have to come up with a new strategy. Okay, if she's going to use Faith, and I go to Nelima, they're all friends. Let me go to Nelima first before she comes because Nelima has a following. And then like that. So it made me up my game. I did not sleep the entire time. I was so up to date because of her. And if she wouldn't, if we would have made it now, it's women against women, none of us would have won. Because now it would have become like, these women would have set a very bad example. But we set a competitive example, and it was so competitive, I'll not lie. By the end of the day, I won, and now she's my friend. We are cool. Actually, we've never even talked about that. Sometimes I feel like asking her, like, let's know.
Are we really cool?
Are we really cool, girl? Are we good? Yeah, but we're good. We laugh, we talk about it, and she calls me Madam President, which is the best thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I think women can be good competitors as women in leadership, you know, as opponents. Let me put it that way. Let me remove the women part. As opponents, I want this, you want this, let's compete. Whoever gets it, whoever loses, it doesn't matter. Yes, at least you tried.
Okay.
Yeah.
Faith, and I want us to talk about the nature of women. And women, you know, you can't be equal to men. We are all different. But so women are, in most cases, vulnerable. Vulnerable just because they could be in more danger. So those same stakes now, the standards can be different because there are places maybe a woman wants to campaign and she can't get there. Maybe it's in the slums, the ghetto, so she could be at risk if she dares to go there. So how do you think we can go around it? Because being vulnerable, it's nature. But so now, because women now can still be great leaders, how do we get over this obstacle?
How do we get over this obstacle?
Yeah.
First of all, personally, if I get into politics, if I want a position, I'll know everything about that place, you know. Like for example, let me use an example. If I want to vie maybe in a place like Mathare, maybe I come from Mathare. I've grown up in Mathare. I cannot come from Karen and go to Mathare and vie there. You know, people don't know me there. But if I come from Mathare and I want to vie, people know me there. So it will be very easy. I am very familiar with that place. So it cannot be a challenge for me even to go to the deepest ends of that place. Another thing, I think one of the biggest challenges when women are seeking these elective positions is maybe their nature as women first, because you will meet an opponent who is maybe a man, and he will start telling you, you are a woman, you cannot get this thing. These things have not been won by you. Why are you going for this? So he's discouraging you by your nature as a woman first. And then if you understand that we are moving forward as a country, we are moving forward, you will understand that it is you, it will be you against your opponent. Maybe your opponent is a woman, for example, like her, and you have a woman. For me, at that particular point, somehow I'll advise women to come together and fight that position. Maybe you go down for your female, for your fellow woman, so that you can win that thing. Because somehow the politics of campus politics are very different from outside politics. You will understand that they are very rough. People are not honest. People are not genuine. You'll even go. A person can even kill you for that position. So for us women, you have to come together. For now, we have to hold each other's hands so that we can seek and also get those positions, regardless of our nature and whatever. Yeah.
Okay, and one of the things that former woman representative of Nairobi, Rachel Shebesh, mentioned is that when people are out here, when they're campaigning, it's about tribe and where you come from, the community. But when they get into parliament, then it becomes women versus men.
Yeah.
So then it means that this is a battle that is even in the parliament
Yes.
and in the Senate. So can we really win this war?
This war, we have to win. You know, saying can we really win it? Yes, we can, because we have to. At the end of the day, we have to, because if we want that equality, equity, we want these positions, we have to win this war. And just to add something, when you talked about women being vulnerable, I think it's in our nature to be vulnerable. There's a time I always say, sometimes I wish that there's just a day all men will be in lockdown so that women can just walk. You know, I don't know if you've ever felt like that. Sometimes you just want to walk in the dark at peace. You just want to relieve yourself, but you can't because you're a woman. But a man can just walk in the streets, have an evening walk, but because you're a woman, you will not do it. Like by default, women, we've already been, we're already vulnerable by default. So I feel like as a woman, you want to be in leadership. Being vulnerable is for every woman. It's not for women in leadership only. It's for every woman. A young girl walking in the street cannot, but a young boy can just walk because he's just a man. For some reason,
He's in less danger.
yeah, he's in less danger, but just by default. So it's not an exception for a woman in leadership. Just know now you're in more danger because all the hawks are just right by your side. You just need to be strong, being your principle, and don't look at it but because I'm a woman in leadership. Just look at yourself, I'm a woman. Simple. Any woman can be in this danger. So that should not stop you. And hopefully we'll win this war someday.
Okay,
Yeah.
and even as we conclude, when we talk about empowerment, this has been an ongoing discussion for a long time now. And when we talk about empowerment, then closely comes feminism. So I would just want to pique your minds on what you understand by feminism.
I'll let Faith go first.
Okay, Faith.
Yes, just go first.
Proceed.
She's been so vocal about it, please.
For me,
Yeah.
feminism is about championing women's agenda. The people who came up with feminism knew that women were vulnerable in the community. Even in leadership, women they were not fortunate enough to get these positions, be it at the societal level, be it at national, whichever level.
Yeah.
So they saw that we need to come up with a movement that will champion for women liberation, that will champion for women's agenda, that will champion for women's rights, and all anything that is that pertains, anything that deals with women's agenda that is about feminism.
Okay.
Because right now I was a leader somewhere, because that idea of leadership came up, it was introduced long time ago by those people who came about with the idea of feminism. Because they saw men are leading, but what about our women? They know themselves. They are the majority. For example, in Kenya, women are the majority, but you see, like, men lead. Sometimes you
So
see
it's about the representation.
yeah. Even look, I was watching a certain documentary in Garissa, parts of Garissa, Mandera, Isiolo. Men sitting down, talking about a prize set for women, maybe a girl or women or young girl who has been raped by men, setting the prize outside the court, so that, and they come up with the idea of like 30,000 shillings. And there was no woman in that committee to decide for that woman who has been raped.
Okay.
You see?
Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, very quickly.
All right, yes, I want to agree with what Faith has said. The reason I've left her to go the first person, because before the interview we talked about that. I think feminism is all about that, empowering women, just giving women the positions that they deserve. Not that they are for men. Position that every woman, every man deserves to be. We need leaders who are women and both men. We need leaders in certain jobs. We need women in certain jobs and everything.
Yeah.
So that is what feminism is, and it's not what people try and make it. Men and women can never be the same. We are different, but doesn't mean that what a man can do, a woman cannot do it. Let's just give men and women the same opportunities. That is all feminism is all about. Thank
Okay,
you.
and as you conclude, Chimamanda, she's the face of feminism in the whole world, and she mentioned in one of her books that Winnie Madikizela, the late wife of
Nelson.
Mandela, yes, that people remember her as Mandela's wife and not Winnie Madikizela, the warrior. She was in jail so many times because she was championing for freedom. So what can you say about that as we conclude?
It's about time women stop being seen as flower girls for men. And as they say, every successful man, there's a woman behind me. It's the wife or the mother. But the point is, there was a successful woman behind that man. Let women be embraced by the things that they've done, not because of whom they have been married to. Because there is no point in time you find a man is glorified because of the woman
because of being a husband to
yes,
somebody.
exactly. It's just usually because I'm Mrs. So and so, because like right now Kamala, the husband, yes, we know him, but he's not being so glorified.
Yeah.
He's just the husband. He's just I've forgotten his name. He's him, and then there's Kamala. There's no, I think he's married. But if it was a woman, just be like, she's the wife of the vice president. So we need to stop that. She's a wife, yes, a mother, a leader, and she has all these other
responsibilities
and titles.
Okay.
Let's address our women with those titles. Yes, because they deserve it.
Yes, Faith, very shortly, in a few seconds.
Yeah, women should come out and seek these positions. Women should lead, and should also lead by example to other women, so that we follow. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you so much for being part of this discussion.
All right.
And that is it from the young women on set today. Faith Thuku, a leader at the Technical University of Kenya, and Mungai, Irene Mungai, who is the president at ADMI. And that is where we conclude Bottom Line KE for today. I am Nancy Nalima. Thank you so much for watching.